Welcome to History Today, Episode 12, Tales of Two Cities.
Here we are again in the Joliet Public Library Digital Media Studio, preparing to record another History Today podcast. I have with me today the local History Summer intern, graduate of Joliet Central High School, Taylor. Say hey, Taylor.
Hey.
This will be Podcast 12, Tale of Two Cities. It's actually about the two names of one city, but Tale of Two Cities will do. Last month we talked about Juliet. Settled in 1834, it was incorporated as a village in 1837. The village decided to incorporate as a city in 1842, but quickly rescinded its request to be a legal city when the citizens realized that the cost of those taxes were far too high. The village name was changed from Juliet to Joliet in 1845. Then, later, when economics got better, it was decided by vote of the village population that Juliet should once again apply to be recognized as a city. It did so as Joliet in 1953. The name was changed to Joliet in honor of Louis Joliet the explorer. So, where did the names Juliet and Joliet emanate from to begin with? Well, according to legend, backed by documentation of George Woodruff historian, James Campbell, one of the first pioneers to settle in this area, named the village after his daughter. This is the leading theory and my favorite. My favorite historian, Robert Sterling, reported in one of his books that at the time, Campbell was settling property. It was unheard of to name a town for a daughter. Most town names were based on where people were from. For instance, if you had to move to an area that needed a name, and you were from New York, you might name the new town York. Apparently, Campbell is not in the census or city directories with any family members. It would appear that he was alone. This wouldn't have been a new thing because the frontier was so new and unknown. Often pioneers left their families behind until they got settled and made sure they could provide for basic needs like shelter and food and safety. I'm not saying that always happened, but certainly sometimes it did.
Check out these new and exciting programs coming soon to the Joliet Public Library. Purr and Pose, Kitten Yoga. Learn gentle yoga poses focused on staying on the floor to optimize roaming kitten cuddle sessions. A great way to reduce stress, increase happiness, and help a furry friend in need. These events will be held as two separate sessions at our Ottawa Street branch on Thursday, July 23rd, and at our Black Road branch on Thursday, August 6th. Both sessions will take place from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. The events are for adults only. Registration is required. Puzzle Pandemonium. Who can piece it together the fastest? Join the Pandemonium and race against the clock for a chance to win a prize at our Black Road branch on Thursday, July 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. Teams of 4 will compete to complete a 500-piece puzzle as quickly as possible. Gather your team in advance or come solo and we'll match you up with others. The first team to finish wins. This event is for adults only. Registration is required. Field trip to the JJC Trackman Planetarium. Phantom of the Universe, The Hunt for Dark Matter. Explore one of science's greatest mysteries, from the Big Bang to galaxy formation to the Large Hadron Collider. Journey inside CERN, the world's largest particle accelerator, to uncover the hidden fabric of the universe. This event will be held off-site at Joliet Junior College, Building A, 1215 Holbolt Road, Joliet, Illinois, on Tuesday, August 11th from 7 to 8 p.m. Please arrive 10 minutes before showtime. This event is for adults only. Registration is required. Bingo. Stop by our Ottawa Street branch on Wednesday, August 26th from 7 to 8 p.m. for a rousing game of bingo. Wait for your numbers to be called and try to win prizes. This event is for adults only. Registration is required.
So we don't know what the circumstances were, but for whatever reason, Campbell said, "This town will be named after my daughter." Oh, why not? There were no rules written that a city could not be named after a mother, sister, cousin, wife, son, daughter, whomever. What we do know is that the first post office for Joliet was registered under the name of Juliet by the postmaster, who was Cornelius Van Horn. He would also later have the responsibility to file the renaming paperwork when filling out the incorporation paperwork with the state of Illinois. And then he would become Joliet's first mayor. There is also the rumor that Romeoville and Juliet were named for the Shakespeare characters. Romeo and Juliet were not named as relative cities, and they were named at different times. Perhaps, this is not a proven fact, that Romeo was the name of someone's son, so it was the village of Romeo, or Romeoville. Even after all this time and reflection, there are people that think that Juliet was just the misspelling of Joliet. As decades before the settling of Juliet, Louis Joliet, or Joliet, broke camp on a huge clay mound by the Des Plaines River, and he christened it as his namesake, and it became Mount Joliet. Apparently, it was labeled on all sorts of navigational maps, but the French spelling of the explorer's French name was spelled Joliette. I have also seen that spelling of Jolliet. So someone must have been a bad speller, or he thought that he should be using less ink, or he just could have been abbreviating. Maybe Louis spelled it correctly, but others in the then future would butcher the actual name. The name change was meant to be in honor of Louis Joliet. As we see so many times in history, documentation is lacking, and whatever gets passed by word of mouth is what's taken as gospel truth. And that's what eventually goes into written history. Before we bid you adieu, I'm remembering to thank Audio Director Extraordinaire Cash and Creative Marketing Personnel Pat for the assists today. Note of interest, there will be no podcast for the month of August. We will be back in September with the next episode of History Today.
If you have any questions or concerns about the content of this podcast, please call Anneta Drilling, local history librarian, at 815-846-3112, or email her at adrilling@jolietlibrary.org. I'm Patrick Maloney, and I'll see you next time when history repeats itself.